Hey Bill, how you doing?
Hey, great to be meeting with you.
The appropriate time is right now. There are massive storms every single day. There's flooding. There's people are starving all over the globe.
In all due respect, this is a much bigger question actually than whatever is going on right now. Right now, currently, the biggest crisis facing the world is the climate crisis, and our question.
Yes, welcome back. I believe you have seen these climate activists dragged out of Bank of American conference after crashing BlackRock president Rob, demanding an end to new investment in coal, oil, and gas. You have seen it clearly. This is just coming after a day.
Well, as you know, I've just taken over the Department of Energy Security and Net Zero. One of the most important things is to do the transition. And what better way to get a helping hand on this than with this gentleman right here? Hey Bill, how you doing?
Hey, great to be meeting with you.
And you too as well. We are going to be discussing this energy breakthrough, the way to transition the entire world to net zero, but make sure that we've got good, reliable, cheap energy. So looking forward to working together on all this.
Fantastic.
Right here, hey Bill, how you doing?
Hey, great.
They made it clear that they are going to transition the whole world. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that, and if possible, why not share this video? Recently, Fox News published an article during ABC The View. Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg urged her fellow climate change activists to step outside of legal method to achieve their climate goals. I don't know the system they are going to use now.
We should point out that it's been 60 degrees here in New York this week in mid-February. Just saying. I wonder, how would you describe where we stand today in terms of the climate crisis? Are we better or worse off than when you began skiing 5 years ago?
It depends on how you see it. If you see it from one perspective, the concentration, the level of CO2 in the atmosphere is higher now than it was before. And we are seeing more and more natural disasters. More people are displaced. More people are losing their lives and livelihoods due to the consequences of the climate crisis. So in that sense, we are far worse off than we were before. But also we can see that more and more people are starting to stand up and speak out about these issues, and more people are mobilizing. So, but it's going way too slow. So I would say we're both better off and much worse off. I feel like I want to, in the future, be able to look back and say that I did everything I could in this time when we were experiencing an accelerating climate crisis and when we still could avoid the worst consequences of it. We must remember that if we want to see real changes, we can't. If we look through history, if people who were advocating for example, social justice, if they had only used the legal methods, then we wouldn't be where we are today. For example, when it comes to racial rights and women's voting and etc. So we need to think outside the box because this is an existential crisis.
Yes, co-host Sonny Hostin prompted Thunberg point by bringing up her recent arrest while staying at the site of a German coal mine that was slated for a major expansion. German police detained the 20-year-old in January for refusing to leave the tiny German town, which was scheduled to be bulldozed to make way for the mine expansion. If you have been following this channel, you realize I did a couple of videos about this where pictures of that arrest, they were all like it was staged. She received massive backlash after this arrest. Impressed with the display of activism, Austin asked Thunberg, was this the first time you have been apprehended like that? And given how passionate you are, is it safe to assume this won't be the last? Thunberg admitted it will probably happen again and again as we are moving in the wrong direction when it comes to climate. She said, so unfortunately, we continue like now, we will probably see more and more people doing the same thing, and me included. Like you have seen at the beginning of this clip, where this guy was arrested, he is part of this activism. I will play out another video where George Howley was confronted during a speech. And this guy made it clear that China is not contributing to this issue.
And what do our leadership?
We have the largest military in the world. We spend over $1 trillion every year. And the state, your state of Missouri, is over half of people are in poverty. China is not our enemy. The climate crisis is. We need to be serious about the climate crisis. We need diplomacy in Ukraine and with China. We are continuing to have more aggression with China, and we are spending more on our military than 100 countries combined. The climate crisis is our common threat.
It's interesting. This administration wants to use the climate crisis as a justification for its agenda in Ukraine and elsewhere. Maybe they ought to visit with that guy.
Yes, like Greta said, that they are rising up like never before. Just within this 8-minute video, you realize about 4 different climate activists interrupting speeches. I don't know if they heard a meeting about this. Sometimes when I look at what is happening, then I laugh. These same people cannot face reality. You have seen what is happening in Ohio recently. None of these activists are standing up. These are real cases that they're supposed to fight for. But you will not see them coming on the street like what they have been doing. When everything is calm, you will see them coming out. It should not be happening like that. Where real situations happen, I want to see these activists. I want to see them stand up. That is when I know you are working. But when you continue to do, when somebody wants to give a speech, you interrupt, you are not doing anything yet.
The largest asset manager in the globe. Do you not feel that you guys have the responsibility to lead the transition out of fossil fuels? And do you have the personal obligation, and does BlackRock have the obligation to get us out and move us into the next generation where our kids can grow up and live and thrive? You need to have that obligation. Yeah? Would you like to respond?
At the appropriate time.
The appropriate time? The appropriate time is right now. There are massive storms every single day. There's flooding. There's people are starving all over the globe.
Every single day on the earth. That's what's boiling the oceans, creating these atmospheric rivers and the rain bombs and sucking the moisture out of the land and creating the droughts and melting the ice and raising the sea level and causing these waves of climate refugees predicted to reach 1 billion in this century. Look at the xenophobia and political authoritarian trends that have come from just a few million refugees. What about 1 billion? We would lose our capacity for self-governance on this world. We have to act. So in answer to your question, I would say we have to have a sense of urgency much greater than we have yet had, and we need to make some changes.